Thank you very much, and thank you EETT for inviting me here. So mobile broadband and the benefits of harmonized UHF spectrum. I think we've heard this now from many speakers and covered many of these aspects. And I now see a challenge. You're supposed to say, see an opportunity, but it's a challenge because you're sitting there and it's only me between you and the lunch. Okay, so I'll be quite quick and come to the point. Firstly, I was very pleased to hear in the introduction from Professor Alexandridis that many of the points listed there is very much what we heard from many of the very forward-looking regulators in Europe. And two of the points that I noted was maximizing the value. And then you talked about social value, industry value, and the individual value. And of course we have different perspective on what the value is and how you measure it, but I think that's a very important issue. Secondly, coming from the vendor industry, of course it's very important with having certainty for the future so that we can actually invest in what will be a mass market product, very much as we heard from Eduardo as well. So those two are very important for us that we heard this morning. So I will just have a quick talk about mobile broadband, the technology and the evolution and trends that we see, the benefits of harmonization. I think we've heard that from quite a few people, just a few touches from a vendor perspective. And come down again to what we heard from Eduardo, the benefits of the low frequency that UHF is from an operator making the investment in a new network. First, we should just look at a couple of comments related to broadband. We see here from Australia, from the UK, and from the US. In essence, everyone agrees that broadband has a major part to play in our economy and business. And we heard the same from the minister this morning. This is a very important area with broadband. And we see it as broadband could be one of the areas which could lift us up from the recession that we see today. So this is broadband in general. And then, of course, we believe that there will be fixed broadband and mobile broadband for the foreseeable future. But as we're talking about frequencies, let's look into the mobile broadband. What can you get from mobile broadband today? We also heard from Eduardo that LTE could be seen as a DSL-like broadband. We see already today that HSPA, which is the UMTS evolution that we have already got deployed in many networks today, it really gives you as good as or even better performance than the fixed broadband using the copper lines today. And you also have the mobility. You can bring it with you wherever you are and you have coverage. And of course it's supposed to be robust, and it is. And one of the reasons is that all of these technologies that we know, GSM, UMTS or WCDMA, HSPA, they come from the same technology group. That's the 3GPP family. And you could see this is now not broadband, it's number of subscriptions, and it's a prediction that we have made. You could see that the 3GPP family has got enormous big part of the overall subscriber market, or subscription market. And this is, of course, why we believe that this is the track we should follow. And you can see that the little blue thing on the top is LTE, but that's still, we're talking 100 million or so subscriptions, and that's only mobile broadband in that sense. And that it will increase even further in the future. So then if we look at the technology and what we can get when it comes to speed in the future. Already today, you see 2008, 2009, there are networks deployed in Australia with 21 megabit per second for the end user. That will increase to 42 by the end of this year. So we're talking speeds here which could give a very, very big benefit to the end users. And we could see the LTE and the future LTE releases coming in. And we're talking really, really high speeds. And this is what is an opportunity with mobile broadband, should the regulator then allow this to be used in the digital dividend. We should also remember that from this 3GPP, I was saying that it was as GSM, you had the UMTS or 3G and so forth. They will continue to live in parallel. We don't see that everyone is going to go this way. You will still have the old traditional broadband with other technologies. So what result will this have, having all this capacity in the network? Well, there are some opportunities or challenges for the operators, because you could see that the increase in traffic will be enormous. An increase in traffic means both that you need to have transport network to take this back from the radio base stations in towards the core network, but it also means that you need spectrum. Spectrum is one limitation here, and here we have the possibility to take some of the digital dividend spectrum and make that available for this service to increase the possibility to utilize mobile broadband in the network. I got some figures here as well. I mean, 1,276 HSPA-enabled devices now. And of course that means the price really going down because you've got such a mass market. And this is very, very important. So harmonization of spectrum is one of our key takeaways from this, that without harmonization there will be very difficult to get the real low-cost equipment and terminals, which means that the end user would have to pay too much for it. So, but if we actually get the harmonization, you in Greece also can benefit from harmonized devices based on 790 to 862 megahertz. There is a definite possibility to bridge the digital divide. And just looking at bridging the digital divide, here's a little bit of a, it shows you really the number of sites that you have compared to the higher frequencies. So if you look at 2.1, which is where you have today's 3G system, and 800, you see it's a factor of 3. And this is number of sites, which is at least 80% or 70 to 80% of the total cost of a network deployment. So then you could see that there is actually proof that there is a business case for this, for operators that early could use the digital dividend to provide broadband everywhere, and that is specifically in the rural areas. To conclude, you will soon get your lunch. Mobile broadband growth on based on HSPA and LTE. We see that that is really where we're going. This is the way forward. And the harmonized spectrum, it's crucial for the economy of scale and to be able to bridge the digital divide. And the UHF band, or the digital dividend band, is for us making equipment very, very important to create coverage. That was it. Thank you.